Hey there, my name's Wendy-O, Hardcore, and these are my blood sisters, Heather and Nikki Judas Hardcore, and we are the Angels of Anarchy.
The Angels of Anarchy is bitches!
Here comes the Angels of Anarchy. The Hardcore Sisterhood is ready to rock.
If you don't know who we are, you've been under a rock, or you got TikTok brain.
You got TikTok brain, you can see it!
It's another win for the AOA.
Wendy Haardkore shoves her away. Goes behind on Brooklyn. German suplex.
We're the longest surviving ladies tag trio in all of our WAL, and for 15 years, we've met every challenge they've thrown at us.
Wendy tags her with a hard right.
Well, the gals from Next Gen can't stand the Angels of Anarchy.
A lot of ladies teams come through here, and the AOA has fought them all. The Click, Team Nuclear, the Dream Girls, Next Gen, the Texan Ladies, American Powers, Crystal Fox Limited, Vicious and Delicious, even Les Femmes Fatales. The Angels of Anarchy have met them all.
Les Femmes Fatales getting ready to mix it up with the AOA.
Yikes on trikes. What a shot from Heather Haardkore.
And we like to get asses!
And while maybe we don't always win, we don't always expect to, and we take our ass beatings quiet, and we plot and scheme for the next time. Plain and simple. Babies.
Nikki Judas Hardkore with Mimi Emerson against the rope, driving a knee into the back of Mimi Emerson.
Well, finally the front office monkeys can't hide us no more. Front office politics be damned. At long freaking last, we've got a shot at the Women's World Tag Champions, American Powers.
Here's the double team. Just unbelievable. Down goes Brooklyn Von Brown.
A team we've met before, but never for the titles.
Wendy Haardkore with the top rope superplex on Brooklyn Von Brown.
The Angels of Anarchy firmly in control.
Well, all that, always a bridesmaid. Never a bride bullcrap ends tonight.
And so Les Femmes Fatales prevailing over the Angels of Anarchy this evening.
Sorry, ladies, you run a great game, but it's time for a little change at the top.
Well, the AOA don't always win, but they damn sure won this time. A lot of fans believe the Angels of Anarchy someday will reach for the brass ring and pull back championship gold. The only question being, when will that day be?
And it's time for a little, actually, a whole lot of anarchy.
Alright, gang, it is main event time. The RWL Women's World Tag Team Championships on the line. Patty Powers and Liberty Bell Danielle defending the titles against Wendy Haardkore and Nikki Judas Hardkore of the Angels of Anarchy.
We're used to seeing the trio, but for this match, it'll be Wendy and Nikki Judas against Patty and Danielle. I'm surprised they didn't run with Heather Haardkore. Quite possibly the most aggressive of the three hardcore blood sisters. But in any case, the Angels of Anarchy have never had a title shot against a PN. They've never won any matches, single or tag, against Patty Powers or Danielle Heath-Cope. It's just a fact of life, you guys. I'm no fan of the Angels with their filthy mouths and bad attitudes, and I respect what they've done in our WL. But it seems like American Powers just has the numbers of the Angels of Anarchy. I'm looking at Patty and Danielle retaining the titles, and you just know the fans are right there with me.
Therefore, gentlemen, it is safe to say ain't none of us here want to see the Angels of Anarchy walk away with the Women's World Tag Team titles here tonight. Everybody's favorite American Powers, even with their slight disadvantage. I mean, Patty and Danielle both coming off successful single title wins. They're doing their first tag team match together tonight. And, even at 99%, they're working a hell of a lot better than the Angels of Anarchy. And Angels of Anarchy have yet to even win a match against American Powers, man.
Powerhouse Patty and the Liberty Bell, bringing the noise level in this place to career shortening for your hearing. The Triple Crown, Women's World Tag Team Champions, back in tandem after successful singles title defenses for both, with Patty fending off Brenda Blair for the Women's Gulf Coast belt, and Liberty Belle Danielle retaining the Snarl Women's Championship against Georgia Washington. And Danielle looks to be in great shape after a month away. They've clearly got the Angels of Anarchy figured out. So, while you can't rule out the chance of an upset, that chance looks slim at best for Wendy and Nikki Judas Haardkore.
Their smartest strategy would be to wrap this one up as quickly as possible, so as not to allow for any possible shifts in momentum that might favor the Angels. But again, American Power seems to have the Angels pretty well scouted.
Tonight's Snarl main event, set for one fall with a 20-minute time limit, is for the RWL Women's World Tag Team Championship. The challengers, accompanied by Heather Haardkore from Glen Falls, New York, Wendy Haardkore, and from Salt Lake City, Utah, Nikki Judas Haardkore, the Angels of Anarchy. Their opponents, from Tampa, Florida, powerhouse Patty Powers, and from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, All-American Liberty Belle Danielle Heathcote, they are Women's Triple Crown Champions and the Women's World Tag Team Champions, America, Powers.
All right, AP, going into this match with everybody on their side, facing opponents they can understand, only this time, with the Women's World Tag titles, plus a lot more, hanging in the balance.
You definitely got that right. Okay, Walt Rothburn rings the bell. Off we go. Patty and Nikki Judas lock up. Nikki Judas up over the shoulder of Patty Powers, slammed right back down to the canvas. Powerhouse Patty rounds up Nikki Judas. Nikki Haardkore being escorted to American Power's corner. Head first into the turnbuckle goes Nikki. Patty's got her up, hangs her up in the tree of woe right out the gate. Wow, okay. Patty Powers putting the boot to the throat of Nikki Judas Haardkore. Patty taking it. Ooh, look at this. Nikki Judas Haardkore rolling out of the way of the knee. Delivers a kick to the midsection of Patty Powers. Patty counters with a knee to the midsection of her own. Nikki Judas Haardkore takes another shot from Patty Powers. Patty's got her up over the shoulder again. And she's going to slam her right back down again. Here comes Liberty Belle Danielle. Look at that Legion of Liberty t-shirt. Danielle all the way up on the middle rope here. Nikki Judas Haardkore getting to her feet. Here we go, double axe handle across the back. Rolling elbow misses the mark. Nikki Judas Haardkore back up on her feet. Locks up Danielle, whips her to the far corner. Liberty Belle Danielle caught up, look at this. Deadly dog. And here's a cover, 1, 2. Wow, Nikki Judas Haardkore surprising Danielle with that deadly dog in the corner. Headlock takedown followed up with an elbow to the arm from Nikki Judas Haardkore. Nikki steps out. Here comes Wendy Haardkore. Liberty Belle Danielle catches a right, another, a third, a slap across the face that backs her up against the ropes. She counters. Delivers a double shot to the midsection to Wendy. One arm suplex. Rolling Wendy over, ass over tea kettle. Here comes Powerhouse Patty again on the tag. Wendy Haardkore back up on her feet. Delivers a kick, a shot, a knee to the skull. Goes behind on Patty Powers. Hard shot to the back. Whips her to the ropes. Patty Powers puts on the brakes. Whips Wendy Haardkore to the corner. Here comes Patty. Powerhouse Patty with elbows to the side of the skull of Wendy Haardkore. Down goes Wendy. Wendy Haardkore catching the boots from Powerhouse Patty. Patty with a deadlift military press on Wendy Haardkore. Wendy way in the middle of the air. Boom, down she goes. Dropped like a stone. Powerhouse Patty locking in a heel hook stretch center ring on Wendy Haardkore. Again, this is our main event. The Women's World Tag Team titles on the line here. Patty Powers steps out. Here comes Liberty Belle Danielle Heathcote on the tag. Wendy Haardkore laid out center ring. Liberty Belle with a series of kicks and stomps to Wendy Haardkore, now stretching the arm of Wendy. Danielle. Flip over neck whip on Wendy Haardkore. Danielle tags out. Here comes Patty Powers again. American Powers very efficient with the tagging. Tag early, tag often. And that's what they do. Patty Powers misses with the stomp. Wendy back up on her feet, nails her with a drop kick. Wendy Haardkore moves in, kick to the midsection, a right, another kick, and a right that takes Patty Powers down to the mat. Wendy, Haardkore, rounds up Patty. Patty, countering with elbows, backs off Wendy. Wendy Haardkore catches a right and a left, another left, and whoa, look at this headbutt. Right to the dome of Wendy Haardkore. Powerhouse Patty rounds her up. There's a discus punch right out of the old Von Erich playbook. And here comes Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote again. Wendy Haardkore starting to take quite a bit of punishment at the hands of American Powers. Danielle getting ready to go high risk here. Big dive and elbow right across the chest of Wendy Haardkore. Followed up with a stomp. Danielle moves in, puts in the armbar. Possible submission here. Wendy Haardkore being checked on by referee Walt Rothburn. Here comes Nikki Judas Haardkore to make the save. But no need. Wendy Haardkore has things in control here. Danielle goes after Nikki. Whips her to the outside. Wendy Haardkore goes behind. Man, hangman's neckbreaker. Hard overhand right from Wendy Haardkore. Now yanking an arm. Trying to yank it out of the socket and snaps it. Wendy Haardkore putting the boots for Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote. Danielle still sore from the Hell in a Cell match a month ago in Philadelphia with Jody Bora. Wendy Haardkore definitely going to try and exploit that. Hard right hands to the head of Danielle Heathcote. And now just sadistic stomps to the face from Wendy Haardkore. Wendy stretching Danielle's arm. Wendy Haardkore steps out. Here comes Nikki Judas Haardkore. Nikki moves in on Danielle. Misses with the stomp. Locks up. Counter kick from Danielle. Danielle rounds up Nikki Judas Haardkore. Dropping the chicken wing suplex, but countered into an arm drag by Nikki Judas Haardkore. Wow. Flip over neck whip from Nikki Judas Haardkore. Danielle rounded up to her feet again. She counters with elbows to Nikki Haardkore. Danielle locks her up. Cravat suplex on Nikki Haardkore. Danielle tags in Patty Powers. Powerhouse Patty moves in on Nikki Haardkore. Charges. They lock up. Nikki Judas Haardkore whips her to the far corner. Drapes the leg over the rope. Delivers a calf kick to Patty Powers. Nikki Judas Haardkore moves in again. Knee to the midsection from Patty Powers. Patty whips Nikki to the opposing corner. Patty Powers again with elbows to the side of the head of Nikki Judas Haardkore. And what a title match main event we got going here. American Powers currently in control of the Angels of Anarchy. Patty Powers has her up, tags her with a fly swatter and a beauty too. Again, right back into that heel hook stretch. Patty Powers absolutely relentless against Nikki Judas Haardkore. Nikki really catching the punishment to the legs at the hands of Patty Powers. Brilliant strategy on the part of Patty Powers. Hauls Nikki Judas Haardkore halfway across the ring by her ankle. Here comes Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote. Here comes Wendy Haardkore on the tag. Fresh partners all the way around. They lock up. Wendy slams Danielle to the canvas. Wendy Haardkore countered by Liberty Bell Danielle. Double shot to the midsection. Danielle locks up Wendy Haardkore. Belly to belly suplex. Right center ring. Danielle steps out. Here comes Patty Powers again. Very efficient tag work from American Powers. Patty rounds up Wendy Haardkore. Flips her over. Reverse Dominator slams her face down to the canvas. Going for a cover here. 1, 2. But only a 2 count. Just a near fall. Patty Powers thought she might have had it right there, but she's going to try and make sure with this next one. Stalking Wendy Haardkore. Wendy counters with a jawjacker. Backs off Patty Powers. A slap across the face. Wendy Haardkore escorts Patty to her team's corner. Slams her into the turnbuckle face first. Look at this. From behind, gouging the face of Patty Powers. Hard right takes Patty down. Wendy Haardkore starting to get seriously aggressive here Locks up Patty. Whips her to the corner. Patty Powers in trouble here. Wendy Haardkore using the ropes for leverage, yanking the arm of Powerhouse Patty. Now shoulders to the midsection. Wendy Haardkore with a blatant choke right in front of everybody. Doesn't care. Again, the Women's World Tag Team titles on the line. A first ever opportunity for the Angels of Anarchy. Wendy Haardkore draws the knees in, drives it in twice. Very athletic on the part of Wendy Haardkore. Wendy tags in Nikki Judas, Patty Powers. With the wind knocked out of her from those double knees from Wendy, a hard right. Patty counters Nikki, goes behind a jawjacker from Nikki Judas Haardkore. A series of chops. A slap across the face. Patty Powers counters with a right. A shot to the midsection. Powerhouse Patty rounds up Nikki over the shoulder. Slams her right back down again. Like a sack of spuds. Here comes Liberty Bell Danielle Heathcote again. Nikki Judas Haardkore is laid out. Danielle dragging Nikki Judas Haardkore close to center ring as she can get her. And now going to work on the legs too. Another possible stretching of the legs and knees for Nikki Judas Haardkore could lead to a submission later on. Danielle quickly covers, but wait a minute, changes her mind about it. Then changes her mind again. What? One. Well, okay. Not sure what that was about. But Danielle rounds up Nikki Judas Haardkore. Nikki whipped to the AP corner, puts on the brakes, turns it around, and takes down Liberty Bell Danielle. Nikki Judas Haardkore rebounds off the ropes. And whoa, trot for the moonsault, but caught a couple of knees from Danielle. Liberty Bell Danielle rounds her up. Another cravat suplex for Nikki Judas Haardkore. Here comes Patty Powers on the tag. Nikki Judas Haardkore is reeling. And here comes Powerhouse Patty beating her feet on the Mississippi mud at the expense of Nikki Judas Haardkore. Nikki back up on her feet again. Patty rounds her up, drives the knee into the back and starts stretching those lower vertebrae. You can hear them cracking in the front row. There's a stomp to the arm, a stomp to the midsection. Patty Powers moves in, rear chin lock. Wendy Haardkore making the save with a drop kick. Patty rounds Nikki up again. A hard right. Nikki counters, kick to the midsection, locks up Patty Powers. Sets her up. Kick and wing suplex from Nikki Judas Haardkore. And here comes Wendy Haardkore again. Patty Powers back up on her feet, charges. Clothesline takes down Wendy Haardkore. Patty goes behind. Sets it up. Has Wendy, slams her right back down and quickly going for a cover. One. Man, both these teams not fooling around here. We're well over the halfway mark and neither one's coming up a winner so far. Wendy whips Patty over the top rope and out onto the floor. Man, Wendy Haardkore rallying the fans. What fans she got? Probably both of them. Patty Powers catching some serious shots from Wendy Haardkore on the outside. Crucifix slams her down. Follows it up with a stomp. Wendy Haardkore gouging the face of Patty Powers, disregarding the referee's count. Patty Powers slowly making her way back to her feet here. Look at this. Powerhouse Patty takes down Wendy Haardkore, frees herself from the hold, locks up Wendy Haardkore, pitches her towards the timekeeper's area. Oh, she is fighting mad. Patty Powers still on the outside. Wendy Haardkore daring her to come back in and start it up again. Patty going after Heather Haardkore. What the hell is this? Slams down Heather Haardkore. Wendy coming to the aid of her sister here. Patty's got her up. Oklahoma slam. Wendy Haardkore pitches Patty halfway across by her hair. Retaliating for the attack on Heather Haardkore. Punches to the skull of Powerhouse Patty. This one's gotten way out of control at this point. Patty driven into the ring steps by Wendy Haardkore. Wendy comes back in. Taking a moment apparently to confer with Nikki Judas Hardcore. Patty Powers is laid out. Heather Haardkore is laid out. And what in the hell's going on here? Wendy Hardcore back on the outside again. Referee restarts the count. Patty Powers is still laid out. So is Heather Haardkore. Patty just getting to her feet. Ditto Heather Haardkore. Patty opens up with a series of shots on Wendy. Locks up Wendy Hardcore. Wendy counters with hard shots to the gut. Slams Patty Powers face down into the mat. The referee counting. Patty Powers momentarily stunned. Wendy makes her way back inside the ring first. Heather Haardkore rolls her into the ring steps. Well, now Heather Haardkore needs to be gotten the hell out of here. Again, Patty Powers laid out on the outside. On the wrong side of town. Wendy Hardcore rounds Patty up. Patty Powers driven into the barricade by Wendy. A series of hard rights takes her down again, and this has just gotten out completely out of control at this point. A leg snap from Wendy Hardcore. Heather Haardkore just itching to get involved here. Patty counters. Drives Wendy towards the ring steps, but doesn't get it. Heather Haardkore shoved away by Patty Powers. Wendy makes her way back into the ring as if nothing happened. How about this right here? Oh man, Patty Powers going after Heather Haardkore again. Slams her down. Wendy moves in, delivers the right. Patty Powers counters with a knee. Got Wendy Hardcore up. Couple of rib breakers. And then pitched away to the side. And Patty Powers just going all Incredible Hulk on the Angels of Anarchy. 2 out of 3 laid out by Patty. Nikki Judas Hardcore being admonished by the referee to stay out of it. Patty tags her with the right. Look at this. All 3 of them slammed into the apron by Patty, who goes after Heather Haardkore yet again. Get shut up. Sidewalk slam for Heather Haardkore, and she ain't even in the match. Wendy Hardcore going to have to come to the rescue again. Powerhouse Patty rounds up Heather Haardkore, has her up in the military press. Nikki Judas Hardcore laid out. There we go. Wendy Hardcore grabs a couple of knees into the back of Patty Powers. And 2 out of 3 of the Hardcore sisters in big time trouble at the hands of Powerhouse Patty, but she's on the wrong side of town. Patty counters, locks up Wendy Hardcore. Has her up, drives a knee into the back. Heather Haardkore debating whether or not she's going to get involved again. Patty rounds her up. Whoa! Gut wrench slam from Powerhouse Patty. Again, Heather Haardkore catching a shot from Patty. Patty Powers goes behind on Heather Haardkore. Has her up. Oh man, slams her down. Unbelievable. The Angels of Anarchy was laid out here at the hands of Patty Powers, who's gone totally She-Hulk. Nikki Judas Hardcore counters with a right to the head. Brings herself in anyway. Hard shot to the midsection. Wendy Hardcore still being countered by the referee. She's the legal woman in the match. Nikki Judas Hardcore goes behind on Patty. Patty Powers catches a hip toss from Nikki Judas Hardcore, who bounces right back outside to her corner. Wendy Hardcore all the way up on the top. Beautifully done. And here's a cover. 1, 2. Oh, what a match, you guys. Insane. Patty refusing to give up here. Escorted to the Angels of Anarchy's corner, head first into the turnbuckle. Here's Nikki Judas Hardcore on the tag. Here's a double team. A football kick right to the head of Patty Powers from Nikki Judas Hardcore. Ably assisted by Wendy. Hip toss from Nikki Judas Hardcore. Patty Powers laid out and in big time trouble here. Kick to the midsection from Nikki. Here's a victory roll. Patty Powers laid out. Here's a cover from Nikki. 1, 2. Danielle right there to break it up. Wendy Hardcore locks it up with Danielle. Patty Powers with a dragon screw on Nikki Judas Hardcore. There's a splash from Patty. Wendy rounds up Danielle on the outside. Patty Powers misses with the splash. Nikki with a kick to the midsection. There's a clothesline from Nikki Judas Hardcore. Wendy Hardcore working on Danielle Heathcote on the outside. Nikki Judas Hardcore stalking Patty Powers. Rounds her up to her feet. DDT right on the top of the head. Wendy Hardcore slams down Danielle. Nikki Judas Hardcore on the inside, waiting for Patty to stand herself up. There's a beautiful crossbody, and here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. Shut up! New Women's World Tag Team Champions, the AOA.
The time, 18 minutes and 40 seconds. Your winners by pinfall and the new RWL Women's World Tag Team Champions, Wendy and Nikki Judas Hardcore, the Angels of Anarchy.
I just don't believe it, you guys. Not only do the Angels put American Powers through a long and sustained battle, but leave it to Nikki Judas Hardcore to pull off the 3-count pinfall off the high-risk move on Patty Powers, while Wendy kept Danielle distracted, preventing her from making the save. Much as I hate to give them credit for anything, the Angels of Anarchy certainly played this one beautifully. And they're the new Women's World Tag Champs, whether the fans like it or not, and trust me, they freaking hate it.
All right, well, Patty Powers extending the friendly handshake here to Nikki Judas Hardcore. Whoa! Nikki slapping the hand away and walking on out. Why you got to be so rude? Oh, that's going to set the tone. That ain't good.
It's been as wild a night on Snarl as I can remember, but that does it for this week. Fans, thanks as always for your support of our WL Wrestling. It means the world to us that you enjoy our content. Be sure to hit the all notification bell, cause up next, it's gonna be our WL Rage with Don Hickson, Christy Ogilvy, and Myron Schimmelman. And that's gonna be a great card. For all of us here at our WL, Wally Cardinal saying thanks, good night, and be safe.